Hi, Lois. Before I actually start, I have to say that this is the first time that I've ever videotaped myself for any purpose whatsoever. So I'm feeling a little bit self-conscious. So if I, stutter or something similar to that, please bear in mind that I am not an actress, and this is not a professional doing a video. I'll try and respond to all your questions appropriately. So, the first question was to reflect upon my own response towards towards my class groupmates microcultures post. And when I think about it, I think I did a fairly good job, especially when it comes to Irene from Serbia, because she wrote about having a microculture with belonging to a microculture within her workplace among different language teachers. And when she said that they were very supportive, and wrote that they were very supportive and nice, and the communication was good, that seemed very normal to me. And actually, I was a little bit maybe even envious, because my own relationship towards my colleagues and from the same language department within my school is not as perfect as hers seems to be, in the sense that with some of them I have a good relationship, with others not such a good relationship. However, the second part that kind of bothered me a little bit was the fact that she said that she never shared her personal information or political views within this group. And this struck me as a bit strange, because if you are completely at ease within this group, then why shouldn't you share other parts of your identity? However, then I started thinking, before responding, I started thinking about the fact that we belong to a different culture. And within my culture, or actually my microculture of a particular region that I was born and raised in, it is completely normal to share everything. However, in some other cultures, it might not be as normal as it is to me. So I responded according to that, and I think I did a relatively good job. When I considered this in the context of critical thinking and active listening, I'd like to refer first to the active listening part, or in this moment, active reading, because it was precisely the fact that I wasn't reading actively that I kind of misunderstood the whole thing, because I wasn't thinking about the fact that she is not a Croat and she does not belong to the region of Dalmatia that I belong to. So I could have caused, if I hadn't thought it through, I could have caused a bit of a misunderstanding there. But thankfully I didn't. So in this context, active listening was very important, as was critical thinking, because if you are not willing to look at things from other people's perspective and to kind of appreciate them for what that is, then how can you actually call yourself a critical thinker? I would apply this in my own teaching, precisely based on the fact that I teach, as I've mentioned in my Culture Bumps assignment, I teach in a school that is very much different, whose microculture is very much different than my own. So because they are not as expressive of emotions and as open about expressing them as I am, so I would be able to apply this whole situation within my class, when I actually expect my students to respond and to my demands, assignments, sentences in a certain way based on my cultural background, microcultural background, and they don't. They respond according to their own microcultural background. So instead of feeling bad about it, I can just feel good about it and say, okay, they're different. Let's work on our own communication. to finalize this whole thing, I would say that when it comes to the depth reflection rubric, I did maybe a number 6 even on this video, because I not only thought things through from my own perspective, I included other people's perspective as well, and I kind of tried to I tried to acknowledge their own points of view and their own cultural background in the sense of responding to the assignment. Okay, I hope this was well enough, and bye.